Okay, today we're going to talk about a very unpopular opinion, and we're going to be talking about why is Monkeypox. We're going to have to call it CoCopox. I don't know if y'all ever ate that before. It's really good. It's accidentally vegan. And by the way, if you don't want to get CoCopox, you better smash that like button and hit that subscribe button notifications. Now, the reason why it is spreading most highly in the gay community and why they only want to give vaccines to people who are gay and who act in high-risk behavior. It's not a gay thing, okay? I really want to put out there. It's not really a gay thing. It just happens that gay people are men. It's a man thing. And men are hoes, bro. And look, I'm not slut-shaming or anything like that. Sex is a part of human nature. It's normal. I don't think we should evilize sex, but moderation is key. And it's very important to know your status, get tested regularly. And if you're gonna be a hoe, be a considerate one, be a smart one. For you guys to kind of understand this, I have to talk about herpes. Okay, now last year I went through my hoe phase and then I got a scare. And ever since I got my scare, I made sure I stay on top of everything and make sure I knew everything inside and out. And while doing so, researching and experimenting on people, like doing these little social experiments, which I will show you. I actually did it on TikTok and I got banned for doing it. But anyway, I realized that a lot of gay men are very inconsiderate. They're thinking with their head down here and not up here. Like, they literally do not care. They do not care to get regularly tested. They do not care to wait at least 2 weeks to get tested before having another partner. For you guys that know herpes, herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2 is very easy to spread sexually due to skin-to-skin contact, and a lot of people love running around and saying that they're having protected X when in reality you're not. Because when you do the BJ, we all know you're not wearing condoms. There's only a small percentage of people that really do that. The gay community, for instance, and this is why apparently the HIV levels and stats in the gay community have lowered a lot more. Apparently it's equal to the heterosexual people, is because of PrEP. Now, gay men didn't want to change their behavior, I guess, and they're like, oh, look, we got PrEP now. We can go wild and do as many people as we want, do as many crazy things and not really care about the consequences, not realizing that you can get herpes and other STD and STIs. Herpes has a really big stigma around it. People think like once you get it, it's the end of the world, that you're dirty, etc. When you can get herpes from other things, not just sex. Now, due to the stigma, the CDD, I believe, has not included it in the STI testing. Okay, they haven't included it in the STI testing. So when you ask for your STD panel test, herpes simplex 1 and 2 is not included in that. So a lot of you guys are walking around with herpes and don't even realize it, because the gag is that herpes can be asymptomatic. And there are two types of people in the gay community. There are the people that don't have a lot of knowledge, which was me at the time. I didn't know you could have herpes and never show symptoms. So when I got to know someone and they told me I don't have anything, etc., obviously I would wear protection, but still, it's skin to skin. When they told me that they didn't have anything, of course I believed them. The gag is, they went to the doctors and the doctors told them and didn't have anything, and that person didn't realize that herpes simplex 1 and 2 is not included in the STD panel, that you actually have to pay more and get another test done to find out if you have it. So now you have people who are walking around misinformed, thinking that they're good because the doctors told them. They think, oh, I got my STD panel test, it came back negative, I'm good, I don't have anything. They don't realize that herpes could also be asymptomatic. So now you have this huge problem of people running around here. So therefore, when someone told me and I knew this person and trusted them, I trusted their word. Do you understand? For me, I always asked for that test when I went to the doctors or laboratories when I got active. I always asked for that test. So for me, I thought it was normal and everyone would ask for it. But no, everyone's asking for an STI panel. They're not like, Here, this is what I want to get done. This. That's how I did it. Every time I went to the laboratory, boom, this is what I want. All this, and I'll get my paperwork done. I'm like, okay, cool, negative. I'm good. So yeah, you have the people that just don't know their status due to stigma. You have people that just don't have enough knowledge to realize that the doctors are not doing what they should be doing. They're not including it in the panel, so therefore they're trusting what that person tells them. Anyway, once I realized that and learned all of that, there were a few people that I met, very attracting. They want to do stuff. All right, cool. Show me your test results. Because ever since then, I wanted to see paper results. Don't matter how good our relationship was, how long I know you for, I want to see paper results. I was no longer taking people's word for it. Thank God, because I'm very lucky. It could have been really, really bad for me. And I was still wearing protection, and I'm still telling you, even though I was wearing protection, there's still a risk. What I found is that people either didn't want to get tested for it, for real. These inconsiderate little gay hoes did not want to get tested for it. Or two, they thought, they like to use the word clean a lot. I'm clean. They said they were clean. And when they showed me the results, I'm like, oh, you don't have this, herpes simplex 1, you don't have herpes simplex 2, and you actually do not have this either, and you need to be tested for that. Those people never talk to me again. Now, the difference between gay men and straight people is that we have accessibility, big accessibility to the hooking up. Like, especially with apps like Grindr, all these other apps. Now, think about it in the straight world. You have a straight man who has to work to get the punani majority of the time. Yes, there are women who give it out. Like, damn, in Cancun, there is a hotel where there are people having like swingers nights, switching their husbands and wives around. So straight people who are participating in high activity are mostly going to get it. But for some reason, it's just a lot more in the gay community. And that's because you don't really have to work for it, For straight women, you usually have to you have to take her out, you have to go on date. Majority of the time, you really have to try to impress her to get it. Because it can be difficult. Like, women go through a lot. They go through yeast infections, all these other things just for messing with someone wrong. So they have to be very careful. So usually they're very selective. Now, in the gay community, we have Grindr. We have all these apps. We don't have to try to work for it to get it. We could just get it just like that. You can go to a gay club right now and they have a thing, not all of them, but they have a thing called the dark room, where they all do stuff to each other there. So promotion of hyposexuality is really big in the gay community. Like, everyone is really about it. Like, you go to gay pride events, they really be out about it. You feel me? They really are not considerate. A lot of these people are not getting proper tested. And some of them don't even care. That's what I learned. It's shocking. It's crazy. I'm like, wow, you don't care about your status? Like, I have a lot of friends in the OnlyFans industry. And I talk to them because they be doing high-risk behavior, high-risk activity with other men.
And OnlyFans creators really don't know that much about herpes. And a lot of them are spreading it. And here's one of the reasons why. So I was interested and I asked a friend a few questions, like, how does he stay safe? Does he do it with particular people he knows? Like, what does he do to guarantee his safety, especially when it comes to herpes? And this is what he told me. He said, hey man, yes, I got you on that. So for me, I usually only hook up with guys that are also on OnlyFans. Most are porn stars, so they regularly get tested. Which is true. Porn stars do regularly get tested. They usually get tested every 2 weeks. Even when they're not performing, there's like an underlying rule that they had that they get tested. The problem is, according to Brett Rosie, for most of the part, every performer in the industry has been tested for these diseases. Not everything. Herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2, and I believe HPV. I regularly get tested, and I'm also on prep. And for the other stuff you asked, I learned in sex ed that basically the teacher said if you go into a room and the person doesn't want to have the lights on while you're about to do the business, then run out of the room. And he basically I also check guys before he puts his BBC inside of them. What he doesn't know is that people can be asymptomatic and not show any symptoms at all. And some people don't even show scarring. So, yeah. So these guys really are in this business playing Russian roulette. It's basically a risk. They don't know the stats of the other person if they have herpes or not because they themselves haven't been tested for herpes.
So OnlyFans creators and stars, I would say, are probably the biggest spreaders due to consistently having a new sexual partner, and then you have a new sexual partner who's also had multiple sexual partners that week. So you are bound to get something. You are bound to get something, especially when a lot of these OnlyFans creators are participating in raw activity.
Yes, a very big statement, and I personally think it's factual, and let me tell you why. So I know a creator, right, who might have a month off, he'll have a month on, and he'll fly to a new city for 1 week. And during that week, he will have a new sexual partner every single day that he will do raw with, all right? So he would do that, and he might even have 2 a day because he might have one in the morning and one at night. Some of these people that he's doing stuff with are OnlyFans creators, stars, and also people that he met off Grindr. Those people in return also go around sleeping around, also collaborating with other fan creators, also doing raw content. So you can imagine these people are screwing around with multiple people. Those people are screwing around with multiple people. Do you think that they don't have nothing? Like, there is no way.
Because they're on prep. A lot of them are doing it raw with multiple people, and then those people are doing it raw with multiple people. Let me show you some more examples of people that really didn't care.
He doesn't even know his STD's results. STD social experiment part 2. I got the flu, sorry. Remember to like to share. Homeboy is looking for some action. I asked him if I could come over. Talk very, very risky with him because at this point, this man wants me, right? So if he wants me, he should be willing to show some test results. Now for the safety questions. I actually forgot to ask him one question, but I asked him when was the last time he got tested. He said before this trip. I should have also asked him when was the last time he hooked up, because if it was after he got tested, then he could have something and he has no results from his previous encounter. I go, nice, you send me through here and I'll show you mine. He says, what? I'm like, send me your results. I want to see. Is that okay? He goes, I mean, I don't have access to it. My doctors just tell me. I go, oh. So what did you get tested for? If you're relying on your doctor to show you your results, that is a big problem, and I'll explain later why. Keep watching. I asked him, what's everything? He's like every STD. And I go, so the STD panel? He goes, yeah. And I go, oh, well, you know herpes is not included in that ST panel, right? He goes, dude, I'm all clean. Otherwise, I wouldn't be messing around. But you don't even know, you haven't seen it from yourself. You relied on your doctor to tell you. He goes, it's cool if you don't want to mess around. I go, Papa, you don't know your stats for 1 and 2. It's not a notable infection by law. That's why CDC don't include it in the panel. So your doctor most likely has never tested it. Trust me, I know. You haven't even seen your own results, so you don't know what everything is. He left me on read because, again, I'm complicated. He probably learned something, hopefully, and hopefully he will go and get tested so he knows his stats. This is a problem because this is what builds up stigma around herpes, because they feel if they tell you that you're going to go in like panic mode, depression, you might even commit S. At the end of the day, if people knew about their stats, we wouldn't have all this stigma issues and everything around it. It's so important for people to be honest with each other and know what they have. So yes, remember, herpes simplex 2 and 1 is not included in your STD panel, and some doctors can even reject you if you ask them to get tested. Most people won't test you unless you show symptoms, but again, you could be asymptomatic and then you pass it to someone who's vulnerable and suffers when they get it. That's why it's so important to give people the option and know your stats. This guy doesn't use protection when he does BJs. Grindr social experiment part 3. This guy really wants it really bad that he's willing to do anything to get it. He asked me what role I am. I'm telling him I'm active, he's passive, and What did I say? You can read that. Here are the safety questions that I asked him. When was the last time that he's been intimate with someone? He told me a month ago. And then I asked him when did he get tested, and he said it was 6 days ago and it was all good, but I don't bring it with me. I use protection. What's with these guys not bringing it with them? Don't they have apps? I guess, I don't know. In Mexico, a lot of people have paperwork. They don't have like apps. Well, from the places that I've been to. I asked him, so you even suck the D with no protection? He says, when I suck D without protection. And you? So I said, well, that's a no for me, and obviously it's a no for me because this is a social experiment. But yes, this guy will suck D with no protection, which is quite funny how a lot of these guys are like, oh, I use protection, I have practice protectus X, blah, blah. But when it comes to the BJ, they're not using protection. And you can get a lot of things through oral sex. That's including herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2, gonorrhea, syphilis. A lot of people think that it's low risk. And yes, you could even get herpes simplex 2 orally. So be careful out there, folks.
Saying that, there has been some people that I met who have cared and actually went to get tested to find out that they did have herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2. I've actually became really, really good friends with those people only because they were the ones who were willing to get tested and cared and was considerate and wanted to know their status too after I told them how this whole system works. Now that you know that how a majority of these gay men are, how inconsiderate they are, how lack of knowledge they have when it comes to stuff like that, now put them in a situation with monkeypox, you got a big problem. Now, from what I understand, some of the stats were in the UK. I'm not sure if it's in America, but I believe it's going to be the same thing in America as well.
2022. So that's when this current outbreak started. So you see, it's pretty recent. Quite high numbers for it being so recent. Now, outbreak mainly so far, 96%, we believe at least 96% have been in homosexual and bisexual men. And this comes from, quite a bit of this comes from this technical briefing. It's all there. Do peruse it for yourself. You can download the full document.
So out of the tests that they had, I think it was like around 1,000 or something, 96% of those people were either gay or bi.
So of the people that have cases, 54% of them have history of a sexually transmitted disease in the last year. So these are people, mostly male homosexual activity, at risk of sexually transmitted disease, and 54% of them have had a sexually transmitted disease.
This is another example how a lot of gay men do not care. These people already had STIs, so you think they will be like, okay, I need to have my head strong, I need to be safe when it comes to this, I need to know who I'm doing stuff with, and I need to know the history of this man. And I'm sure they're not doing that. I'm sure they're not looking into stuff like that, and this is the outcome of it.
And quite a lot have had 10 or more sexual partners in the last 3 months. 31.8%. So 31.8% of the people that have this infection had 10 or more sexual partners in the last 3 months. Some might think that moderation is called for.
The shade. The UK shade, oh my God, moderation is called for. It's true. A lot of gay men don't know how to have moderation. Yes, sex is normal, sex is not evil, but if you're going to indulge in certain things, be prepared for the risks and the consequences of doing that. Just like when you eat a lot of food and you don't go to the gym, you're not going to get a cute little body like this. You're going to get big. Someone said on Twitter, monkeypox is painted as something LGBT-like. I know this won't end well. Not only gays in the LGBT community in general is going to more stigmatize, but also people who think it's a queer thing won't protect themselves and spread that ish to the rest of us. Now, I definitely believe that. I do believe people will stigmatize it and be like, oh, it's only, well, not really an LGBT thing. It's a gay thing, a man who has sex with men thing. And you guys still are going to realize that this could spread other ways, not just that. The only reason why it's spreading like that is due to high risk activity and skin to skin. It's kind of like herpes. Like someone said, really classy for you to slut shame, victim shame for someone currently suffering from a disease. Here is how it spreads. It's not an STD. Someone put that person in their place and said, it's not an STI, but it spreads through close contact, and having sex with a ton of people is close contact. And I promise you, you won't die if you don't have sex with a bunch of people. Knowingly doing high-risk activities while two pandemics are spreading deserves to be shamed. And let's be real, gay men participate in high-risk activity. A lot of these guys, again, they don't care. Self-centered. They don't care about anything. They don't think with this brain. They're thinking with this brain down here. Someone ends up saying, I had to forcibly ingest Accutane for a year and endure the side effects till this day just to treat my acne of 10 years. And now everyone's saying monkeypox leaves long-lasting and severe scars on your face. We need to barricade the infected now, Becky. And he put the meme of the Chucky doll, the Bride of Chucky. Now, it's so funny because I honestly knew when I first heard about monkeypox, I was like, the gay community is going to be the first one. This is not on the news, but my friend is friend with a popular gay porn star in Puerto Vallarta who visits Puerto Vallarta, right? And this guy has monkeypox. Just imagine who else this guy has spread it to. Does OnlyFans, porn star, high-risk activity, multiple partners. Of course, the gay community, the hookup culture of the gay community should be the perfect way to say it, are the ones that are going to get this. Now, another OnlyFans creator, I believe, he posted on IG saying, it's absolutely horrible. Please get vaccinated. Protect yourself and your loved ones. You do not want this. It's so terrible, painful. I will continue posting updates. Now, I appreciate this guy because he's willing to share his testimony. As soon as you go to this guy's Twitter page, you're going to see that this man participated in a lot of high-risk activity. It's obvious that this man is at risk of monkey. Now, another guy, he also does end up getting monkey.
This is day 8 of me in the hospital, and I'm just doing these videos to help spread awareness. So as you can view, they're on my face. They are in my scalp. That's one. I have one in the back too. They are on my side. They are in my rectal area as well. I just want to get out of here and get back to work. I haven't been to work in about 2 weeks. I can use all the help that I can get, man. Just retweet this video to help spread awareness because as you can view, the monkey is real. And I'm just trying to spread awareness within my community, man. So y'all stay safe out there.
He doesn't even know how he possibly could have got it. But if he does participate in high-risk behavior, because I could see that he does, but I don't know if he's consistently doing it. So I'm not going to judge just because there's like one scene. Now, another clip I'm going to show you, this made me laugh.
I think it's important to note that the reason that it's spreading within the gay community is because we have really strong social networks, right? And so we go out to the bars together, we go out to the clubs together, and as a group, right, we go to safe spaces for us, and that's why it's been pretty contained in the LGBTQ community.
Because the gay community participates in high-risk activity.
Once it happens to get into the straight community, which it has, it will start to spread more and more because it's not being just spread through sexual transmission.
I love how he said, you know, because we are a close network. Bro, everyone is a close network. Everyone is eating at bars together, restaurants together. I feel like this guy is not being honest here. And the real thing is because majority of gay men participate in high-risk behavior. The news and media is really out here trying to make this look like an STD thing, when really it's not an STD thing.
STD. Let me repeat myself. Not now, nor has it ever been an STD. I just got back from the Twitter universe and some idiot sent me a USA Today article trying to say it was an STD. You reporters are responsible for this too. You know what happens when you stigmatize disease? It spreads faster because Jim Bob down at the Quickie Squeeze has his head so far up his ass he's afraid of being called gay by all of his buddies out in the parking lot. So he will never get tested and he will spread it for weeks. It spreads for weeks when people are contagious. And you know how it spreads? It spreads on surfaces. It spreads through respiratory droplets, through shared drinks. If one kid at a daycare puts their toy in the mouth that another kid who was infected just had in their mouth, they're going to get it. It spreads through fabrics. It spreads through bedding. And it spreads with close skin-to-skin contact. Now, our CDC is not even testing people who don't fall into the category of men who have sex with men. And we know it is spreading amongst our population outside of men who have sex with men right now. It is going to explode just in time for the school year. And you know who's being the most responsible about it? The group that falls into the category of men who have sex with men. They are lining up for hours to get vaccinated for this, to try to stem the spread of it. And it is not a fun vaccination. It makes look like a cakewalk. And infections, if you don't have a mild one, they're not fun either. People are being hospitalized to manage the pain alone. Never mind the scarring you're going to have all over your body and the explaining you're going to have to do if you walk around thinking this is an STD, because in animal studies with rhesus macaques very close to humans, respiratory droplet infection with monkeypox led to nearly 100% anal lesions. So shut up about this STD crap and start managing this virus. Start protecting yourselves. And Rachel Walensky, you should be ashamed of yourself for the way the CDC is handling this and your further stigmatization of this disease. Embarrassing.
Again, she's right. There's a lot of people out here feel like they are safe because they are straight, and that they possibly might not get this. And when they do get it, they end up spreading it to other people. The reason why the gay community would always be a high-risk group is because they promote hyposexuality. A lot of them are very inconsiderate, selfish. A lot of them just do not care, lack of knowledge. And because of all this, it spreads so much quicker in the gay community than any other community. The good thing is a lot of gay men are getting these vaccines. Hopefully it helps. I'm sure there's a lot of straight people that are lying and they're like, yeah, I'm gay, give me the vaccine because only gay dudes. But honestly, it is not gonna hurt if gay men can be a little bit considerate and, you know, maybe go on a little lockdown, a boy lockdown. Hopefully this goes by, because God forbid, I don't want none of that shit. But hey guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. This is very taboo, controversial topic, and as a man who's into men, I know I get a lot of backlash from the gay community when I talk about stuff like this, and I'm ready for it. I'm so ready. I don't care what the they say. I definitely feel the gay community and fuckboys are going to be the biggest spreaders when it comes to monkeypox. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, notifications, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys in another drama video.